Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our discussion on fundamentals of surveying. We are still talking about traversing and traverse computations. For this video, I am going to talk about traverse adjustment. And what do I mean by traverse adjustment? Traverse adjustment is the procedure of computing the linear error of closure and applying corrections to the individual latitudes and departures for the purpose of providing a mathematically closed figure. It is necessary that the traverse is geometrically consistent before coordinates or areas are determined, or prior to determining the location of lines from the traverse stations. When a traverse adjustment is undertaken, it must be borne in mind that the adjustment of the latitudes and departures will slightly alter the length and direction of the measured sides of the traverse. Also, the adjustment the adjustment should only involve small or allowable errors which must be within the range of the precision specified for the survey. So there are different rules or methods of traverse adjustment. We will talk about 4 of them in this video and in the succeeding videos. For this video, we are going to talk about the compass rule. Okay, so pagkatapos natin ma-compute yung linear error of closure, ngayon i-applyan natin ng compass rule to adjust yung mga lines and yung mga bearing or azimuth ng mga lines na ito. I-applyan natin ng compass rule, okay? And then after ma-applyan natin ng compass rule for the correction, we'll be computing for the adjusted lengths and directions based from these equations. So, ang corrected length ngayon ng isang linya or isang course is just equal to the square root of the corrected latitude squared plus the corrected departure squared. So, basically, ang ginagamit natin dito is the Pythagorean theorem. Ginagamitan na natin ng correction, yung corrected na yung ginagamit natin to compute for the corrected length na. Okay, and for the alpha, this is now the corrected bearing or azimuth. This is the inverse tangent of the corrected departure divided by the corrected latitude. Okay, so klaro sa atin yun. Okay, kapag nag-survey kayo, kailangan muna nating i-compute yung linear error of closure. Okay, kailangan muna nating ma-determine kung ano yung pagkukulang niya doon sa latitude at saka the departure. Okay, and then pagkatapos nating ma-compute yung linear error of closure, gagamitan natin ng rule. Meron tayong 4 na rule for the traverse adjustment. Kapag na-adjust na natin yung latitude and departure, gagamitan na natin ng formulang ito to compute for the adjusted length and the direction. Okay, so let us start with the compass rule. How do we use the compass rule to come up with the adjusted length and direction? All right. So, what is a compass rule? A compass rule is also called the Bowditch rule, named after the distinguished American navigator Nathaniel Bowditch. This compass rule is based from the assumption that all lengths were measured with equal care and all angles are taken with approximately the same precision. Okay, in short sentence, this is what the compass rule is saying. So the correction to be applied to the latitude or departure of any course is equal to the total closure in latitude multiplied by the ratio of the length of the course to the total length of the perimeter of the traverse. Okay, this statement can be represented by these 2 formulas dito. So ang correction na ibibigay natin sa bawat course, itong C sub L, this is yung correction na ilalagay natin doon sa latitude ng isang course or isang line. Okay, so bawat linya merong correction. Okay, i-applyan natin ng correction. So para ma-compute natin yung correction sa bawat linya, gagamitin natin the total correction or the total closure in latitude multiplied by the distance of that specific line or specific course divided by the total perimeter or the total distance of the traverse. Okay? So yun yung formula na gagamitin natin for the compass rule. To illustrate itong rule na to, let us answer a problem. Okay, given in the accompanying tabulation are the observed data for a traverse obtained from a transit tape survey. Determine the latitudes and departures of each course and balance these quantities by employing the compass rule. Also, determine the linear error of closure, bearing of the side of error, and the relative precision. And then finally, determine the adjusted length and adjusted bearing of each course and tabulate values. Alright? So, unang-una dito talaga is to compute for the linear error of closure. Okay, to do that, kailangan muna nating i-compute yung latitude and departure of each line. Okay? So, yung pag-compute ng latitude at departure na natapos na natin sa isang video. You need, kung gusto nyong bumalik doon, you can go sa previous video natin for the computation of latitude and departure. Para lang sa mechanics nyo yun, okay? So, to compute, parang sa mechanics nyo lang din yun. Di ba? Yung component. Okay, so computing latitudes, ang formula natin is the length times the cosine of the bearing. Okay, so etong distance, the length multiplied by the bearing or the cosine of the bearing. Remember dito, kasi bearing yung given, ano? So, ibig sabihin, for the latitude, lahat ng north ay positive, lahat ng south ay negative. Okay, be mindful sa mga signs natin dito. Okay, compute na natin yung latitude. For the first one, we have latitude AB. Okay, for the latitude of AB, okay, the distance AB is 495.85 multiplied by the cosine of 5 degrees 30 minutes. Okay, so since north ito, positive yung magiging sagot natin. Okay, so this is 495.85 meters multiplied by the cosine of 0.5 degrees 30 minutes. Okay, remember north, so magiging positive yung sagot natin. Okay, use your calculator to solve for this one. The answer should be equal to 493.57 meters. Okay, next, for latitude BC. For latitude BC, we use the same formula. So this would be equal to 850.62 multiplied by the cosine of 46 degrees 02 minutes. Okay? I don't need to write that anymore. Sulat ko na lang yung final na sagot. I-multiply nyo lang 850.62 multiplied by the cosine of 46 degrees 02 minutes. This is north. Ibig sabihin, our answer should be positive. Okay? So this is positive. Should be 590.93 meters. I mean 53 meters. Okay, sorry. 590.53 meters. Okay, for the next one, we have latitude CD. Okay, for latitude CD, we are going to multiply 855.45 multiplied by the cosine of 67 degrees 38 minutes. Okay, this is south. Ibig sabihin, our answer should be negative. Okay, so this is negative 325.53 meters. Next, for the latitude of DE, we have 1020.87 meters multiplied by the cosine of 12 degrees 25 minutes. This is south, so this is negative. Okay, so this is negative 996.99 meters. Next, we have latitude latitude EF. Okay, for latitude EF, we have 1,117.26 multiplied by the cosine of 83 degrees 44 minutes. This is south, so our answer should be negative. Okay, this should be equal to negative 121.96 meters. And then finally, for the latitude of FA, latitude of FA is just equal to 660.08 meters multiplied by the cosine of 55 degrees 09 minutes. Okay, and this is north, di ba? North, ibig sabihin our answer should be positive. So this is positive 377.19. All right? And then we need to get the summation of north latitude and the summation of south latitude. The summation of north latitude is just the itong mga positive natin. 493.57 meters plus 590.53 meters plus 377.19. So that should be equal to 1,461.29. Okay, so this is positive 1,461.29 meters. On the other hand, yung summation of south latitude naman are the negative. Okay, negative 325.53, negative 996.99, and negative 121.96. And that should be equal to negative 1,444.48 meters. Okay, so yan lang yung mga kailangan natin for this one. Okay, so the next one, we have to compute for the departure naman. Okay, departure on the other hand is computed using the formula length or distance multiplied by the sine of the bearing. Okay, so ganun pa rin, ang nag-iba lang yung function. Instead of cosine, sine naman for the departure. So for the departure of AB, okay, we have 495.85 meters multiplied by the sine of 5 degrees 30 minutes. Remember, ito naman yung ano natin for the departure. It's either east or west. Kapag east ito, positive. Kapag west, negative. So east, this is positive. So 495.85 times the sine of 5 degrees 30 minutes, ay sulat ko muna dito sa una, 495.85 meters multiplied by the sine of 5 degrees 30 minutes is equal to, so since this is to the east, this is positive 47.53 meters. Okay, so using the same formula for the departure of BC, we have 850.62 multiplied by the sine of 46 minutes 02 46 degrees 02 minutes east. So this is positive. Okay, this should be positive 612.23 meters. Okay, for the next one, we have the departure of CD. Okay, departure of CD. We have 855.45 multiplied by the sine of 67 degrees 38 minutes east. So that's east. So this is also positive. So we have positive 791.09 meters. Next, we have departure of DE. Departure of DE is 1020.87 multiplied by the sine of 12 degrees 25 minutes east. So this is also positive. So this is positive 219.51 meters. Okay, and we have departure of EF. Departure of EF is 1,117.26 multiplied by the sine of 83 degrees 44 minutes, and this is west. Okay, so we have a negative answer. So we have negative 1110.58 meters. And then finally, for the departure of FA, okay, we have 660.08 multiplied by the sine of 55 degrees 09 minutes. This is west, so our answer should be negative. So we have negative 541.70 meters. And then we need to take the sum of the east departure, ED. Okay, the summation of east departure is just equal to the positive, itong 47.53 meters plus 612.23 plus 791.09 plus 219.51, and that should be equal to positive 1,670.36 meters. Okay, and then we also need to solve for the summation of the west departure. Ito naman yung mga negative. So we have negative 1,110.58 and then negative 541.70. And the total should be equal to negative 1,652.28. Okay, so yan yung sagot natin for the first one. Sana? Ito. Determine the latitude and departure of each course. Okay, next, balance these quantities by employing the compass rule. So before we can balance these quantities, di ba ang balance the quantities kasi ibig sabihin kasi yung sum dapat ng north latitude and south latitude should be equal to 0. Itong north latitude tsaka south latitude dapat pag pinag-add natin ito equal to 0. The same is true for the east departure and west departure. Dapat pag pinag-add natin ito should be equal to 0. Pero since nakikita naman natin obvious na hindi sila parehas, meron tayong linear error of closure, and we need to balance this one by i-balance natin. Ibig sabihin gawin nating the sum should be equal to 0. Okay? So ang gagawin natin dito is to compute for the linear error of closure. Okay? I-compute muna natin yung linear error of closure. And to do that, i-compute muna natin yung total closure of the latitude and the departure. Itong total closure, ano lang to? It's just the sum of the yung closure sa latitude, equal lang siya sa sum of the north latitude plus the sum of the south latitude. Okay? So basically, ito lang. 1461.29 plus negative 1,444.48. So basically, i-add natin yung dalawa. Taking into consideration yung signs nila. Okay? So this is 1,461.29 plus ito negative 1,444.48 meters. Okay? So, ang closure natin sa latitude ay positive 16.81 meters. So, yan yung closure natin sa latitude. Okay? Ang closure naman natin sa departure ay sum naman ng east departure tsaka ng west departure. Okay? So, yung east departure natin, this is equal to 1,670.36 meters. Yung west departure, negative 1,652.28 meters. So, we just need to get the sum of the two. So, that's positive 1,670.36 plus the negative of 1,652.28 meters. So the closure for the departure is 18 positive, positive 18.08 meters. Okay? Kapag na-compute na natin ito, we can tabulate itong data natin sa table. Itong table na ito. Okay? Okay, so yan na yung computed latitude natin and the computed departure. Okay, ano pang kailangan natin dito? The sum. Andito na yung mga sums natin. Nandyan na. Okay, and kailangan natin ito. Okay, the total distance. I-add natin itong total distance ng mga courses natin. This is actually our capital D sa formula natin sa compass rule. Okay, kanina, that's the total distance or the perimeter of the traverse. Okay? So, yan na yung table natin for the total distance. Okay, so now we can compute for the linear error of closure, the bearing of the side of error, and the relative precision. Okay, for the linear error of closure, we have our formula, di ba? Meron na tayong formula dito noon. The linear error of closure is just equal to, okay, this is just equal to the square root of the total closure sa latitude square plus the total closure sa departure square. Okay? So, na-compute na natin yung total closure sa latitude tsaka departure kanina. Okay, nandito siya. 16.81 at saka 18.08 naman for the departure. Okay, so this is basically 16.81 squared plus the departure is 18.08 squared. Okay, so this is equal to 24.69 meters. Okay, so ito yung linear error of closure natin. This is 24.69 meters. Next, the bearing of the side of error naman, the bearing of the side of error, theta is equal to negative, the inverse tangent, ano? The inverse tangent okay, wag niyo pansinin yung nasa taas na yan. Okay, so theta is the inverse tangent of negative CD over negative CL. Okay, so this is the inverse tangent of negative CD is negative 18.08 divided by negative 16.81. Okay? Ano kayang silbi ng mga negative na ito? Bakit kaya pwede namang wala? Okay, itong mga negative na ito indicates the direction of the theta, bearing of the side of error. Ibig sabihin ng negative 18.08, this is west, tapos negative 16.81, this is south. Okay? Very important yung mga signs na yan because of the direction, west and south. Okay, so ang masosolve natin dito na theta is equal to 47 degrees 05 minutes. Tama? So basically, the bearing, hindi pa yan yung bearing kasi wala pang direction, no? The bearing is south. I'm sorry. South, 47 degrees 05 minutes west. Yan yung silbi ngayon ng negative na dalawang yan. Okay? So this is the bearing of the side of error. And then finally, the relative precision. Dito ko na yung relative precision. So the relative precision is just equal to the LEC divided by the total traverse. Okay, so this is 24.69 divided by the total distance. Ito kanina, yung sum of the distances. That's 5,000.13. Okay, so that's 5,000.13 meters. So the relative precision is equal to 1 over 202.52 And we can say this is approximately equal to 1 over 200 to one significant figure. Okay, so that's 1 over 200. So we have already determined the linear error of closure, the bearing of the side of error, and the relative precision. Ngayon, ang susunod na is, na-compute na natin yung linear error of closure. Now, we need to adjust. Okay? I-adjust natin yung latitude at saka departure para ma-balance. Yun na yung sinasabi ng problem natin dito na balance these quantities. I-balance muna natin, okay? Ibig sabihin, gawin natin na the sum of the north latitude and the south latitude should be 0, and the sum of the west departure and the east departure should be 0. Yan yung tinatawag natin na balance, okay? So, ang gagawin natin is to solve for the corrections for each latitude. Okay? So, to compute for the correction, C sub L is equal to CL over times D over D. Ito yung formula natin for the compass rule. Tama? So, yan yung gagamitan natin bawat linya. Gagamitan natin ang bawat linya. So, the correction for AB, latitude muna ito. Latitude. Latitude lang muna ito, So, for the correction for AB is equal to, okay, CL. Ang CL natin is the correction sa latitude. It's 16.81. Okay, so positive 16.81 meters multiplied by distance of AB. The distance of AB is 495.85. So that's 495.85 meters divided by the total distance, yung nandito kanina, 5,000.13. So that's 5,000.13. Okay? Okay, kung titingnan ninyo, itong correction natin, itong 16.81 tsaka 5,000.13, ano yan? Constant, di ba? Ang nagbabago lang is 495.85. Okay? So basically, ang gagawin nyo na lang dito para mapabilis yung calculations ninyo, itong 16.81 divided by 5,000.13, i-store nyo na. Okay? I-store nyo sa isang variable sa calculator ninyo. Okay? So para later on, i-recall nyo lang yung value na yan multiplied by the distance. Okay? So that is equal to gagawin ko para makita nyo kung paano yon. Okay, ganito yon. I have my calculator here. I-open ko lang muna. Yan. So, nandito na yung calculator. Paano ba mag-store sa calculator ninyo? Okay, i-store ko yung 16.81 divided by 5,000.13. Ano? So, 16.81 divided by 5,000.13 equals ko muna, store ko shift store A. Okay, so pumunta na sa A yung value na to. Okay, so sa mga ibang calculator meron siyang diretsong store A, hindi mo na pwedeng hindi ka na mag-shift, pero yung store kasi dito nasa taas, kaya nag-shift ako STO, store. Okay? So, nasa A na ngayon yung value ng 16.81 divided by 5,000.13. So, i-multiply ko na lang siya ng 495.85. So, para i-recall yung A, i-ano ko lang yung A, alpha A times 495.85 equals 1.67. Okay? So, ganun. So, this is equal to 1.67 meters. Ngayon, for the correction of BC, yung A kanina, i-multiply ko na lang doon sa distance ng BC, which is 850.62. Ito, 850.62. I-multiply ko na lang yung in-store ko kanina na A. Di ba? Mabilis na lang. So, A times 850.62. Okay? And we have 2.86 meters. Okay? So, this is 2.86 meters. For the correction CD, okay, A times the distance of CD na 855.45. So we have 2.88 meters. For the correction DE, yung A natin kanina times 1020.87 will come up with 3.43 meters. Correction EF is equal to yung A times 1,117.26. That's 3.75 meters. And finally, for the correction FA, we have 660.08 times yung A. We come up with positive 2.22 meters. Okay? Yan na yung mga computed natin na correction for each latitude. Ngayon, ang tanong, ano ang gagawin natin sa correction natin para makuha natin yung adjusted latitude? Okay? Balik tayo doon. Kailangan natin ng konting pag-iisip dito. Ano? Nandito ngayon yung CL natin. Okay? Or pwede niyo sa table. Tignan ninyo. Ito yung north. Ito yung south. Ano ang mas malaki sa kanilang dalawa? Itong 1,461.29. Tama? Itong south, ano lang, 1,444.47. Dito na lang tayo. Okay? Ngayon, ang gagawin ko ngayon, dapat maging 0 itong sum nila. And to do this, kailangan kong paliitin ito at saka dapat palakihin ito. Tama? Paliitin ko dapat ito para mag-decrease yung gap ng north latitude tsaka south latitude. Tama? So, ang rule natin dito, lahat ng correction, minus natin from the north latitude, lahat ng correction naman, i-add natin doon sa south latitude. Okay? Na-gets yun? Kung ano siya, kung for example, dito, 493.57 yung latitude kanina ng AB. Since this is positive, kailangan nating minusan ng 1.67 na correction. Itong correction na 1.67, i-minus natin from the latitude na 493.57 meters. Okay? So, yan ngayon yung adjusted na. Okay? These are our adjusted. Dito ko na isulat, ano? For our adjusted latitude, okay? Adjusted latitude of AB is equal to yung 493.57 minus natin yung 1.67. Ito, plus or minus, depende. Mag-analyze ka dito kung ano ang gagawin mo sa north latitude or south latitude para maging 0 yung gap nila. In this case, gusto mong ibaba ito, gusto mong babaan ito, gusto mong itaasan ito. That's why we need to subtract from the north latitude and add doon sa south latitude. Okay? Yun yung ano doon, behind the yung ginawa natin dito na minus. Okay? So, ang sagot natin dito is positive 491.90 meters. Okay? For the adjusted latitude naman of BC, okay, BC is also positive, di ba? So, minus ulit. Okay? Yung original na latitude natin ng BC ay 590.53. Tapos, i-minus natin yung 2.86. Okay? So that's 590.53 minus natin yung 2.86. So this is equal to positive 587.67. Okay? Sa susunod, we have adjusted latitude of CD. Okay? For the adjusted latitude of CD, ang original latitude natin ay negative 325.53 meters. Tapos, since this is negative, mag-add tayo ngayon. Okay? I-add natin yung 2.88. Okay? So, that's syempre yung minus nasa nasa labas niyan, ganyan. Okay? 325.53 i-add natin yung 2.88 para lumaki, So ito magiging negative 328.41 meters. Okay? So ganyan kapag nag-adjust tayo dyan sa negative na latitude. So next, we have the adjusted latitude naman for DE. Okay, the original latitude is negative 996.99. Tapos adan natin siya ng 3.43. Kagaya ng dito sa CD, we will come up with negative 1,000.42 meters. Okay, then we have adjusted latitude of EF. The original latitude of EF is negative 121.96. Adan natin ng 3.75. So that's negative 125.71 meters. And finally, for the adjusted latitude of FA, we have the original latitude is positive 377.19. We subtract, kasi positive yan, we subtract 2.22, we have positive 374.97 meters. Okay? So, yan na yung adjusted latitude. How do we check kung tama yung sagot natin? Again, ang ginawa natin dito is balancing. Dapat kapag pinag-add natin ito 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the sum should be equal to 0. Okay, i-check nyo yan. Kapag yung sum naging 0, that means we are correct. Sometimes, may mga times na hindi siya mag-0, like mayroon 0.01 or hanggang 0.01, okay pa lang din yun. Okay, okay lang kasi because of round of errors. Okay, pero you can use an arbitrary method na later on to close the figure. Okay, okay lang kahit may 0.01 na gap. Okay, because of the round of error. Okay, pero I think ito magzi-zero itong latitude natin, adjusted latitudes natin. Okay, and then we do the same for the departure. Okay, we do the same for the departure using the same formula. Dito naman, gagamitan natin ng itong CD divided by D. Yan naman ay constant. Kasi constant yung CD, constant naman yung D. Okay? So, pwede nyo yan i-store sa another variable, say B. Okay? Tapos, i-multiply na lang natin yung distance. Okay? Ang CD natin ay ito, positive 18.08. Ang D natin ay ito, 5,000.13. Okay? So, now, we can compute for the correction AB. Okay? Correction AB is just equal to this one. So, 18.08 tapos distance AB. Nasaan na yung distance AB natin? Ito, distance AB is 495.85. Okay, so basically ito ay positive 18.08 multiplied by 495.85 0.85 divided by the total distance of 5,000.13. Okay? So this is equal to 1.79 meters. Alright? So, kagaya ng sabi ko, pwede nyo nang i-store itong 18.08 divided by 5,000.13. Multiply nyo na lang later on doon sa distance ng bawat linya. Okay, so for the correction of BC, multiply na lang natin yung 18.08 divided by 5,000.13 by 850.62. We have 3.08 meters. Okay? And for the correction of CD, okay, so ang nagbabago lang dito actually ay ito, tama? Itong distance, yung length na yan. So the correction for CD is 3.09 meters. For DE, we have 3.69 meters. For EF, we have 4.04 meters. And for FA, we have 2.39 meters. Okay? Ang susunod dito naman ay yung adjusted. Okay? I-adjust na natin from the original departure. Ito, may mga original departure tayo dito. Okay? So, ang gagawin naman natin, i-balance natin. Okay? Ano ang mas malaki dito? Mas malaki yung east. Tama? Mas maliit yung west kasi 1,652 lang. Parehas nung sa latitude natin kanina, itong 1,670 dapat bawasan natin. Itong 1,652 dapat palakihin natin. That's why we need to subtract from east or yung mga positive, mag-plus tayo sa mga negative. Okay? So for the adjusted departure, okay, adjusted departure of AB is equal to, okay, yung departure ng AB natin is 47.53. This is positive, ano? 47.53, magbawas tayo ng correction niya na 1.79 meters. Okay? So, magiging positive 45.74 meters na lang ito. Okay? So, parehas lang ng ginawa natin kanina doon sa latitude. Okay, next we have the adjusted departure for BC. Our original departure for BC is 612.23. Positive yan, so we need to subtract the correction na 3.08. Okay, this is equal to positive 609.15 meters. Okay, and then we have adjusted departure for CD. The original departure for CD is positive 791.09. So kailangan pa rin nating mag-subtract ng correction na 3.09 ito. Okay, so ito magiging positive 788.00 meters. Okay, and then adjusted departure for DE. We have the original departure is 219.51. I-minus natin yung correction na 3.69. Ito, which is, ito na ngayon ay magiging positive 215.82 meters. Okay? And then, for the adjusted departure for EF, the original is negative. Diba? Negative 1,110.58. Okay? Kailangan natin itong palakihin. So, lagyan natin ng ganyan. Magpla-plus tayo ngayon ng correction na 4.04. 4.04. Okay, so mas lalaki pa yung absolute value nito, magiging 1,114.62 meters. Okay? And then finally, for the adjusted departure of FA, ito, the original is also negative. Okay, so negative 541.70. I-add natin yung correction na 2.39. So ito magiging negative 544.09. Okay, and to check this one, you solve for the sum ng mga adjusted departure. The sum should be equal to 0. Okay? So yan, na-adjust na natin yung latitude, na-adjust na rin natin yung departure. Ang susunod na gagawin natin is to determine the adjusted length of each course. Okay? I-compute na natin yung adjusted length of each course. Okay? For AB, okay, the adjusted length of AB is now equal to, eto na ngayon, adjusted latitude is 491.90 and the adjusted departure is 45.74. Okay, yun na yung gagamitin natin for the length of AB, square root of 491.90 squared plus 45.74 squared. Okay, so the adjusted length of AB is now equal to 494.02 meters. Okay, how about the adjusted bearing? Okay, how about the adjusted bearing of AB? The adjusted bearing of AB, okay, ano yung ginamit natin na kanina dito? Alpha. Okay, so the alpha of AB is equal to the inverse tangent of negative departure over latitude. Theta pala ang ginamit natin dito. Palitan natin itong na to. So theta AB. Theta AB is just equal to the inverse tangent of the corrected departure, which is equal to 45.74 divided by 491.90. Okay? So, theta AB is equal to 5 degrees 19 minutes. So, the bearing now is, since positive dalawa, that's northeast. Okay? So, north, 5 degrees, 19 minutes, east. Alright? So, ito na ngayon yung adjusted length and the adjusted bearing of AB. Now, we go to BC. The adjusted length of BC is equal to the square root of, square root of 587.67 squared plus dito sa BC naman dito 609.15 squared. Okay, using the same formula, ang masosolve natin dito should be equal to 846.42 meters. Okay, and then the theta, yung theta BC natin should be equal to, inverse tangent of departure over latitude. So, inverse tangent of 609.15 divided by 587.67. And we will come up with 46 degrees 02 minutes. Okay, so this is 46 degrees 02 minutes. Alright? So, remember yung latitude tsaka departure niyan, positive. So the bearing is north 46 degrees 02 minutes east for the bearing. Okay? I hope you are getting yung mga sinusulat ko dito, it's just a direct substitution na from the latitude, yung computed latitude natin and departure. Na-compute naman natin na direct substitution na dito ngayon. Okay? Okay. Next, we have the corrected length for CD. Okay, using the same formula, square root of 328.41 squared plus 788 squared. So we have 853.70 meters. And the theta for CD is equal to 67 degrees 23 minutes. Okay? Yung nito, yung latitude niya ay negative, yung departure niya ay positive. So it's southeast. Okay? So south, 67 degrees 23 minutes east. Okay? For the length of DE, okay, meron tayong positive DE, negative 1000.42 for the latitude and positive 215.82 for the departure. So we have the corrected length is 1023.43 meters, and for the theta of DE, okay, we have 12 degrees 10 minutes. Okay, yung niya, latitude niya ay negative, yung departure niya ay positive. So this is also southeast. So south, 12 degrees 10 minutes east. Okay, and for the corrected length of EF is 125.71 squared, that was 1114.62 squared. So we have a total length of 1121.69 meters. And for the theta of EF, okay, we have 83 degrees 34 minutes. Okay, yung EF natin negative parehas, negative yung departure at saka yung latitude, ibig sabihin southwest ito. So south, 83 degrees 34 minutes west. All right, so next we have finally we have FA na lang. Okay, so we have FA. So the corrected length for FA is equal to just square root of 374.97 squared plus 544.09 squared. So we have 660.78 meters. And the theta for FA is equal to 55 degrees 26 minutes. Okay, yung sign naman dito, positive yung departure, negative yung latitude. Tama ba? Departure is negative, latitude is positive. Tama? So northwest. So north, 55 degrees 26 minutes west. Alright? So yan na yung mga adjusted lengths and bearing natin. Now we can complete itong table natin dito. Okay, the correction, the adjusted latitude, adjusted departure, and we have the adjusted length and adjusted bearing on the end. Okay, fill up natin itong table na to as our last step dito sa problem na to. So ayan, I have already filled up the table for you. Okay, makikita natin dito sa table, dito sa adjusted latitude. So pag pinag-add natin yan, magiging 0 na, parehas na, no? Even dito sa departure, parehas na. Itong adjusted length and adjusted bearing, galing yan sa mga sinolve natin. Okay, so kapag present mo na yan sa table, okay ka na. Okay, so that's it for the compass rule. I hope you understand the lesson, and we'll go to our next method sa next na video natin. See you in the next video.